Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to decode a really cool system for finding potential winning stocks. And it's all about looking at their DNA, not just their price on any given day.
You know, it's the big question every single one of us faces, right? In a market that moves a million miles an hour, how do you tell what's real strength and what's just temporary hype?
So in this Explainer, we are going to walk through a framework that's built to answer exactly that. We'll look at how it works, like an early warning radar, we'll deconstruct the score, check out the 4 main stock personalities it finds, and, maybe most importantly, see why just chasing the highest score is a big mistake.
Okay, let's dive right in. This system is called the story screen, and the whole idea here isn't about chasing the stocks that are already making headlines. Nope, it's about discovering them before they become the talk of the town.
So, the philosophy here is actually pretty simple but powerful. Think of it like a forward-looking radar, something that's always scanning the entire market, looking for stocks that are just starting to show a strong technical structure. And get this, it intentionally uses a completely separate data pool. Why? To avoid that classic trap of confirmation bias, where you only look at stocks you already know are doing well. The key thing to remember is that it's all about the structure of a stock's strength, not just a single flashy number. So you might be wondering, how does this thing actually analyze a stock? Well, what's really cool is that it doesn't just spit out one single number. Instead, it kind of breaks down a stock's DNA into 3 key parts. All right, first up, and this is the big one, is the mid-score. You can think of this as the stock's backbone. It's all about the quality of that medium-term structure. Things like, is the 20-day moving average above the 60-day? This tells you if the stock has a really solid, healthy foundation to grow on. Honestly, this is the primary indicator, the most important piece of the puzzle. Okay, next up we have the heat penalty. And this is a brilliant little risk filter. If a stock is just shooting for the moon, moving way too far, way too fast, or showing signs of just emotional, speculative trading, this score actually deducts points. It's like a built-in cooling system that screams, hey, danger ahead. And finally, we've got the short score. This one acts as the trigger. It's measuring that immediate short-term spark, that aggressive momentum telling you something is happening right now. Is the price suddenly blasting above its key short-term averages? The short score is what catches that action. So these 3 pieces then get combined into a total score, but pay close attention to how this is calculated. The mid score, that stable foundation, carries the most weight. The short score is only given half the weight. It's like an accelerator, but it's not the main engine. And that heat penalty, it's subtracted directly, acting like a really powerful set of brakes. Okay, so this is absolutely crucial. You don't just jump to the final number. The whole system is designed to be read in a specific order. First, you check the mid-score to make sure there's a solid backbone. Then you look at the heat penalty to see what the risk is. After that, you can gauge the immediate momentum with the short score. And only then, at the very end, do you consider the total score. Following these steps is what stops you from getting fooled by some flash-in-the-pan hype. All right, now for the fun part. Let's see how all this comes together to build a really clear, actionable picture. By combining these scores, the system sorts stocks into 4 distinct archetypes, or personalities. And we're going to use some real data from April 24th, 2026 to see exactly how it works. This table gives us a fantastic snapshot of what we're talking about. The system basically identifies 4 main profiles. You've got your high-quality stocks, the mature, stable leaders. Then there's the hot and strong ones, which are powerful but definitely risky. You also find potential upstarts, which are showing a spark but aren't mature yet. And finally, my favorite, the clean and new candidates that are just perfect to put on your watch list. And this right here just brilliantly shows you the power of breaking down the score. Just look at these 2. Both of them have really strong medium-term structures, right? Their mid-scores are both over 50. But look at Shanghai. It has 0 heat penalty, which gives it that nice high total score of 66. Now look at Leon's. It's dangerously overheated. That huge heat penalty of 21 absolutely crushes its total score, basically waving a giant red flag that this is a super high-risk entry, even though it looks strong on the surface. And here's another great comparison that shows a crucial difference. We've got Asia Optical, which is a potential stock. Yeah, it has a nice short-term pop, but its backbone, that mid-score, is still kind of weak at 32, and it's already getting hot. Now compare that to Inventec, which is a clean and new candidate. Its mid-score is pretty similar, but the P difference? Zero heat penalty. It's not flashy, it's not grabbing headlines, but it has a clean chart. This makes it the perfect kind of stock to add to your watch list, so you can keep an eye on it as that structure matures.
And all of this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from this whole framework. It is not, I repeat, not just about finding the stock with the highest score.
Say, the real value here is that this system forces you to ask smarter, deeper questions. It helps you understand the character of a stock. You start to ask, is this strength coming from a solid foundation, or is it just driven by today's speculative hype? Is this a mature, steady leader, or is it a promising upstart that just needs a little more time to bake? Ultimately, it's all about a massive shift in your perspective. You stop asking, hey, what's hot right now? And you start asking, what is the structure of this stock's strength? And trust me, asking that question changes everything. It turns you from someone who just chases performance into someone who actually understands it.
So the next time you're looking at a stock, I want you to think about this. Don't just ask for its score, ask for its story, because that is where the real actionable insight is hiding.